following along, we've been investigating BlackRock, how BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street collectively own majority stakes in almost every company in America. This is the media group, big pharma, energy, green energy. They've obviously got big tech, got airlines, they've got shipping, railways, and automobiles. They've got all the big banks, got food and beverage. They own the shit out of our water supply and utilities. They've even got hospice care, funerals, and cemeteries. So why isn't this considered a monopoly? That's a good question. I think I know the answer. Because these are technically asset management firms, meaning they manage assets for customers like you and me. And it's not actually their shares, it's the customer's shares. But the thing is that when you sign up for a Vanguard account or you put your shares with BlackRock or State Street, you sign over your voting rights. And so they control all the voting rights all across all of these industries that I just showed in order to elect the boards of directors, influence who becomes the executives, and pull a shitload of sway across all of corporate America and beyond. And as far as I can tell, most of America doesn't even realize that it's happening. And the people that do know about finance just think it's normal.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? I think one of the more interesting things that BlackRock is invested in is hospice as well as graveyards. What do they know that we don't know? Why would they invest in such a thing unless they thought themselves there's going to be a huge influx of people heading into hospice care and heading into the funeral homes? Makes you wonder, don't it? Look, I told you there's a group of people and they're all behind a lot of this stuff. Most people don't even realize that what the man said was right. Lots of people, they are an asset management company, but the people, when you invest in them, don't hold any voters' rights. So pretty much by investing into the company, you give them all the power to turn this country into the hot mess that it's in right now. You need to take your money out of BlackRock and Vanguard and all those other major corporations. There are countries right now where governments are telling their people to get their money out of BlackRock and do it right away. So people are waking up. Unfortunately, over here, we're too distracted with stupid shit to even care about what's going on in the banking industry. Seriously. Back in 2016, it looks like Iceland had a great idea. Iceland sentenced 26 corrupt bankers to 74 years in prison. What'd they get right that we couldn't figure out? Their bankers had the same issues. They controlled politicians and the whole 9 yards, but still, they were able to find these people guilty while we have ours still running around. I mean, come on, JP Morgan has been fined almost $1 billion for all their corruption, and they've been fined several times, but does anything ever happen to them? No. Look, I said it before a million times, and that is this. When you have somebody like Jamie Dimon orchestrating the collapse of our entire financial systems and nothing happens to him, and he's blatantly doing it, that just tells you how powerful these people really are. Before we get started, if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, or any other precious metals for that matter, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. When you purchase over there at Money Metals Exchange, you will now be automatically entered into a chance to get free giveaways. This month, you'll be automatically registered to be one of 3 people who will receive 10 ounces. That's 10 silver eagles each. So head on over to Money Metals, make your purchase, and automatically enter to win. For those of you who are unaware, I do have my own webpage. I can be found at Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I do post videos that I can't post on YouTube without getting in trouble. I also have my own Facebook group called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. I can also be found over here on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, Odyssey, and now I'm on Rumble. For whatever reasons, my videos are not showing up on my channel yet, but I can be found just by going to the search button and typing in Pimpy's Investment Chat. And my videos will pop up for you to check out. If I get kicked off YouTube or I get suspended on YouTube, you can find me on any other one of these social media platforms. A quick reminder, everybody, there's a link down below here. If you follow it and make a purchase at Money Metals, you're automatically entered for a chance to win 10 free ounces of silver from Money Metals. So don't pass that up. It's a good opportunity for everyone who enters. So I got a lot of people asking me how come I haven't done a lot of videos on silver or gold or crypto or anything like that. Just to be honest with you, a couple things. One, I've been doing spring cleaning, and that's a hot mess. I don't know if any of you ever try to tackle that, but it seems to me the more you try to clean up, the bigger messes you create. Okay. Second of all, I'm still detoxing. It's not been that easy. There's times where I'll sleep 18 straight hours. I can't explain it, but I'm feeling healthier little by little. There's times where I feel real sluggish in the morning, but my craving for sugar is it's unbelievable. So I have to keep finding pieces of candy as well as anything else to keep. My Jolly Ranchers seem to work pretty good, and so do Starburst. So when you stop drinking alcohol, those types of things are what you go through. But it is what it is. All right, so look, we need to definitely start arresting people. Nothing's going to change this country until politicians and bankers are held accountable and they start getting arrested. It doesn't help that our own intelligence agencies and our Department of Justice are all corrupt as well. So it makes it really hard to get what we need accomplished. Somebody has to go in there and clean house. So it looks like cryptos are starting to rebound just a little bit. I know they took a major hit. I know people were asking about precious metals. That shouldn't be a surprise. I told you they're going to try to smash that down. More and more people are turning to precious metals than ever before. So look at it as an opportunity to invest more into precious metals. I noticed that when there's a flux of people trying to run over to precious metals, then all of a sudden you see crypto start to go up as well. I still think it's a distraction. I've been listening to some interesting videos about cryptos, ones that'll blow your mind. I think I'll share with you a little bit later on. But let's take a look at this. Over here at the 52-week average, they're getting further and further over to the right, which usually looks like a good sign. That's because as time goes on and the 52-week average changes, because the high side starts to go lower and lower. So eventually they'll find their equilibrium. You'll see them about somewhere in the middle here shortly. Bitcoin's at 27,200. Ethereum still above 1,800 at 1,825. XRP's at 42 cents. So what I'm noticing is no, Bitcoin didn't reach $1 million, and no, XRP still hasn't gotten to 500,000 yet. Very interesting. I thought they were going to get there. No, I didn't. Cardano's at 37 cents. Dogecoin's at 7 cents. Solana is at $21.19. Polygon is at 8 cents. Polkadot is at $5.39. Litecoin's at $84.81. Shiba, man, talk about a drop. 5088. That's a damn shame. Like I said, high tide lifts all ships, just like all the other cryptos. If Bitcoin does good, they do good. When it does bad, they do bad. The same with Terra Luna Classic. It's at 4090, so both of them added zeros. That's not what we want. That's the wrong direction. The same could be said about Saitama. Saitama's at 3098, and these cryptos seem to be fading away. I think what it is, there's a message that's been going around, and I've been watching this fella speak about what's going on. He found some interesting news in the write-ups regarding cryptocurrencies from the World Economic Forum and what looks to be their potential plan on what they want to do with cryptocurrencies, and it doesn't look pretty. If we go to universal basic income, there'd be no need for cryptocurrencies. Therefore, they'll all drop to zero. And then he said pretty much along the same thing that I did. Cryptocurrencies were used to indoctrinate people into the central bank digital currency while using investors' monies to create the type of platform that they needed to make central bank digital currency successful. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to sell my cryptos. I do still have the same ones I've always had, just because you never know. But, what he says does make sense. I know there's a lot of you out there that believe in this, and you jump up and down and you believe that it's just one of those things. They'll eventually go up and they're going to reach to the moon. But I don't think that's going to happen, because I have seen the paperwork that this guy's talking about, but I'm trying to check out the legitimacy of it. And when I do, then I'll share it with you and you can see for yourself. After that, you make your own decisions. Gold at $2,014.70. Still above that 2,000 mark. That's looking good. We saw a couple of days ago that gold started to drop, but it didn't take very long now, did it? And then turn around and shot back up. And then it came down, and we're on one hell of a roller coaster ride. But good luck on trying to hold gold down, because the world is waking up to the truth, and that is you have to be in precious metals if you want to be outside of the system. That doesn't mean that's not going to keep them from attempting to knock gold and silver price down to discourage people from investing in it. Silver dropped below to $24 an ounce. People are like, Pimpy, what do you think? I said, what do you mean, what do I think? I told you it was going to do this. It doesn't change my perspective on anything. I told you, even if it went down to $1 an ounce for both gold and silver, I wouldn't fall for that. These aren't the true values of precious metals. We determine the true value of precious metals, not some paper market, not some manipulated prices. This is something that you have to work out with the people in your community, because you're going to have to turn to that when the time comes, if you plan on staying outside of the system. But I tell you that people seem to be waking up. I don't know if it's too little, too late, but we'll just continue to roll on forward, planning for the worst and hope for the best. Politicians are stepping up. It's hard to be a politician overseas. If you're in New Zealand, Australia, or even in Britain, if you dare speak out, man, those laws over there have changed. They don't care about the fact that they're crushing people's rights to freedom of speech or anything else like that. These people just crap all over their citizens. And even though they're rising up and fighting against government, there's a big difference between them rising up and fighting versus us when the time comes. We have guns. They don't. That's why our politicians won't rock the boat too much here, but that's just something to think about. So let me show you when I talk about there's politicians starting to ring the bell, starting to alert people about the truth. Let's watch this speech from this gentleman over in the UK, because what he's saying is factual and something that we should have thought about a long time ago.
It's my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere.
Oh yeah.
And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.